For over 2,000 years, one voice has continued to shape the hearts and minds of billions of people around the world. He taught in simple stories, yet his words carried truths deep enough to guide entire civilizations. He spoke of love, forgiveness, humility, and hope, and he lived every word he preached. Today, we explore the timeless teachings of Jesus Christ, lessons that were spoken over 2 millennia ago, yet remain as powerful and relevant today as they were then. Whether you are a believer, a seeker, or simply curious about history's most influential teacher, these lessons hold something for everyone. At the very heart of Jesus' message was love. When asked which was the greatest commandment, he replied that one must love God with all their heart, soul, and mind, and love their neighbor as themselves. This was not a shallow or conditional love. Jesus went further, teaching his followers to love even their enemies, to bless those who curse them, and to pray for those who mistreat them. In a world driven by revenge and division, this teaching remains radical even today. It challenges us to rise above hatred and to respond to cruelty with compassion. Perhaps one of the most universally recognized teachings of Jesus is what we now call the Golden Rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. This simple yet profound principle calls for empathy in every action. Before we speak, act, or judge, Jesus asks us to pause and consider whether we would want this done to us. It is a teaching so powerful that echoes of it appear in nearly every major world religion and ethical philosophy. Jesus taught that forgiveness should have no boundaries. When Peter asked how many times he should forgive someone who wronged him, suggesting 7 times, Jesus replied that one must forgive not 7 times, but 70 times 7. This was not a literal number, but a lesson that forgiveness should be limitless. Holding on to anger and resentment only burdens the heart. True freedom, Jesus taught, comes through letting go and choosing grace over grudges. In a world that often celebrates pride, power, and status, Jesus taught the opposite: humility. He said that whoever wants to become great must first become a servant to others. He demonstrated this himself when he knelt down and washed the feet of his disciples, a task usually reserved for the lowest servants. Through this act, he showed that true greatness is not found in ruling over others, but in serving them with a humble heart. Jesus often taught through parables, short and simple stories that carry deep spiritual meaning. Through the parable of the Good Samaritan, he taught that kindness knows no boundaries of race, religion, or background. A man beaten and left for dead was ignored by religious leaders, yet helped by a stranger from a despised community. Jesus used this story to show that true neighborliness is measured by action, not by identity. Through the parable of the prodigal son, he revealed the boundless mercy of a father who welcomes home his wayward child with open arms, a beautiful picture of divine forgiveness and unconditional love. The son had wasted his inheritance and shamed his family, yet his father ran to embrace him before a single word of apology was spoken. These stories were never just tales for their time. They remain timeless mirrors, reflecting truths about human nature, mercy, and redemption that still speak to us today. Time and again, Jesus emphasized the importance of faith, not blind belief, but a deep trust in God's goodness and plan. He taught that even faith as small as a mustard seed could move mountains. In moments of fear and uncertainty, He reminded his followers not to worry about tomorrow, but to trust that they were cared for, just as the birds of the sky and the flowers of the field are cared for. He gently asked why anyone would worry over what they will eat or wear, when so much quiet care is already given to the smallest creatures in all of creation. Jesus consistently reached out to those whom society had cast aside: the sick, the poor, the outcasts, and the sinners. He dined with tax collectors, healed lepers, and comforted the grieving. He touched those considered unclean and spoke with those others refused to acknowledge, breaking social barriers that had stood for generations. His message was clear: no one is beyond love, and no one is beyond redemption. This teaching continues to inspire compassion and outreach to the marginalized in every generation, calling each of us to notice the people the rest of the world too easily overlooks. Jesus also taught about the danger of judging others. He asked why we so easily notice a speck in our neighbor's eye while ignoring the plank in our own. This teaching calls for humility and self-reflection before criticism, reminding us that mercy toward others begins with honesty about ourselves. He spoke often of the kingdom of God, describing it not as a distant place, but as a present reality found in righteousness, peace, and joy. He compared it to a mustard seed that grows into a great tree, and to yeast that quietly transforms an entire batch of dough, teaching that small acts of goodness can create lasting change. In his most famous sermon, delivered on a hillside before a great crowd, Jesus offered a series of blessings known as the Beatitudes. He said that the poor in spirit, the meek, the merciful, and the peacemakers were blessed, turning the world's usual measures of success upside down. Where society often praised wealth, power, and ambition, Jesus honored humility, gentleness, and a hunger for righteousness. These words offered comfort to the weary and challenged the proud, reshaping what it truly means to live a blessed life. Jesus also taught his followers how to pray, offering a simple pattern that has echoed through the centuries. He instructed them to seek God's will above their own, to ask for daily provision rather than excess, and to request forgiveness in the same measure they extend forgiveness to others. This prayer was not meant to be recited without thought, but to shape the heart of the one praying, drawing it toward humility, gratitude, and trust. Whatever your beliefs may be, these timeless lessons remind us of a simple truth: that a life rooted in love and kindness has the power to change the world, one heart at a time. Across cultures, generations, and continents, people from every walk of life have found guidance in these same simple principles, proving that wisdom this deep never truly grows old. Thank you for watching. If this video inspired you, share it with someone who needs a little more hope today, and let these teachings continue to ripple outward into the world, touching lives far beyond what we could ever imagine.